We're getting close and comfortable because we have some technical difficulties.
Why not today while the sun is shining? Today while I know I can. The past is behind me. Tomorrow can't find me till I live today. Why not today while my heart is ready? Today while it's in my grasp. If I start out slowly, I'm confident knowing I'm still on my way. So why not today?
Welcome to the Why Not Today show with Eric Dodge and Laurel Dodge. We're working together to help you find hope, health, and happiness. How are you today, Laurel?
I'm good. How are you, Eric?
I'm good. We've had a few technical difficulties. I hope you all can hear us just fine out there in Facebook land and podcast land and YouTube land. I can hear us in the other room, and you have dog hair in your glasses.
Oh, well. That's part of the territory.
That's part of it. That's showing how you don't need to fit in. We don't even need microphones today because we're going live through the phone. Google or Facebook or somebody is not working correctly today. And so we are not fitting in the regular Facebook Live podcast world. So we're just going to do this over the cell phone and hope it works.
All right.
It looks like it's working fine. So,
Yeah. So you just said something to me about fitting in.
okay.
What is fitting in, Eric?
I don't know. I know I don't fit into my 34 size jeans
Well.
anymore. So
So it's a size or thing like that, but who says you don't fit in?
me.
Okay. So why do you do that to yourself?
I guess we still do need these.
Kind of a hard question.
Yeah.
Not fitting in is in whose head? Our
Well,
own.
true.
Our own.
This is true.
Our own. We get all stewed up that we don't look the same, or we
Right.
don't not the same size, or we don't. Oh, I'm supposed to talk into this mic.
Close to it. Towards the microphone.
We don't maybe think the same jokes are funny, or we don't like to eat certain things the way other people do, or we don't like to drink a lot like some people like to do,
Yeah.
or not drink at all. And so in our head we say, because we don't do those things, but we're still with that group, we don't fit in.
Right. It's true.
So who says you don't fit in?
Yeah.
We do that to ourselves.
It's our own self-limitations.
It is. It really is. And so part of fitting in is we naturally want to be a part of a group. Okay? And isn't a group, I think of a group as like a tribe, or a group of friends, or a family group. Everybody has a part
Right.
in that tribe. Everybody has a part in that group. We can't all be the chief with the headdress and the clothes and the...
True.
Someone has to take care of the headdress and the clothes. And that's as important of a part of fitting into that group or tribe. So we have to kind of be a little gentle with ourselves sometimes when we go, and maybe we go with a group and we're quiet and we sit back in the corner. And then we go home and I didn't fit in. I shouldn't have been there. I was so, But you were there, and you had some people, and you had friends, and you had association.
Right.
And you being there brought things to the other people in the group.
Yeah. This is true.
How's that for a lecture?
That's a good lecture. I could lecture you too, though.
Let's hear it.
No, I don't want to. That would just be unkind.
Well, because I'm the mother, I can be unkind.
Right. No, we do. You're right. It is in our heads. Frank says he's the lone wolf. I don't know, Frank. After I saw your outfit the other day,
And the dance.
the line dance diva,
You know, Frank is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You
We're
were
going
so
to try
fun.
to get him to our line dance
You
night
were so fun,
next
Frank.
week. We need Frank to show up.
You
so.
brought some life to that party.
Yes, he did. This is true.
And that was his purpose and his job in that group.
And I saw a
that was
picture
good.
of quite the party maybe going on afterwards, too, that,
Oh.
we didn't get invited to.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't
No.
because I don't even get the picture.
No. We talk a lot about that. There's a few places that we've built in this community, like my line dance nights are one where you don't need to fit in. Sometimes I'm the only one there with the cowboy hat. There's all ages, all married, singles, doesn't matter. Nothing matters at our line dance night. You can show up if you like country music. We play some non-country music. And that's kind of how I wished everything was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places you go where you don't fit in because possibly you don't have the same kind of clothing or you
But
don't.
who's saying you don't fit in? Yourself. You know, like you said, your
Right.
dance thing is saying don't fit in.
Right?
Who wants to go fit in? Go have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a guy that comes to our line dance nights, and he goes every single month faithfully. And it took him a long time to learn some of the dances. And I kept saying, his name's John. I said, why you still like going to this? And he's like, I want to learn how to do this, so I'm not going to give up. And the first time he showed up, he said, I can't do this. I don't fit in here. But he kept going and going and going, and he has learned it, and he's done really well. And now I joke with him about how I'm going to make him teach the class. So
he got over it. He
still
the
shows up. He
fitting
has a
in.
great time. He has fun, and probably 6 to 8 months before he learned some of the dances, and he kept going.
So
Kind of a neat thing.
he's now part of the community because
He's
he
a
inspires.
regular, and people like to see him there.
He motivated you guys.
Yeah.
He's friendly. He's part of your community.
True.
Even though he's not the best dancer on the floor,
He's doing
and he's
good
not
now.
on the front row. Maybe he's on
He's
the front
doing
row.
good now. He's
I
like
don't
second
know.
or third row in. He's not afraid of
There you
anything.
go. There you go. I wanted to share just a couple of stories about not fitting in, if that's okay with
Sure.
you. About 10 years ago, I went into a rehab for prescription drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Went in for a whole summer. And as I was getting ready to leave, and we did a lot of work about fitting in, a lot of these kids that were in there with me, and of course I was the old lady, and it was very different.
You were
But I was the
old lady.
But we talked a lot about fitting in, more so in sharing our gifts, sharing the things we have, because a lot of addicts feel like they have nothing to give anymore. Or they're so tender-hearted that they take the drugs to beat down the thoughts of, I don't fit in, I'm stupid, why did I say that? These things that we do in our own heads. So anyway, when I went to leave, they sat me down and they said, you've got to give us a couple of commitments, because I was quite a distance. I couldn't go back in for every week for inpatient therapy and things, so I was going to be quite a distance. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do? Number one, go to the gym. Every day that you can go to the gym, go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, go to NA, Narcotics Anonymous, every day for a year. Go to the gym for a year, go to NA for a year. Talk about not fitting in.
Right.
I felt like I did not fit in. So I started going to the gym, and at that point I
went with you to an AA meeting and an NA meeting.
But let's talk about the gym and then we'll talk about NA. I went to the gym. I was about a quarter below 300 pounds. And talk about a fish out of water. But I went to water aerobics, and then I when I was in the rehab, they also said you need to do some muscle trains, some cardio. They worked with me a little bit, but not much. And so there I was at the gym, and there were all those machines, if any of you have ever been in a gym. And the gym I went to at the time was Gold's Gym, so it's not called that anymore. But there were a lot of men there, weight training, and women, and just using those machines. And I stood there for a minute, and the little trainer kind of showed me the machines. And I got on them, and I looked around, and I thought, what in the am I doing here?
Yep.
But I kept persevering. I kept doing it. And there were times I couldn't remember how to do the machines, so I'd go, can you believe this? I would get up and I'd go over to the kid next to me with the great big muscles training, and I would say, I'm sorry to bother you, but I don't remember how to do this. I never once was told, no, I won't help you. I won't show you. Sure, come on over. And so at first I kept thinking people are going by and they're saying, look at this lady and what's she doing here? But eventually they started talking to me a little bit. And some of the people, I had a couple, a young man and woman, walk up to me one day and say, you inspire us.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you don't feel like you fit here,
Mm-hmm.
you show us how hard people need to work and how they need to take care of themselves. And so I became comfortable with that. And I still go swim, I still walk, I still am active, and I lost a lot of weight, but I have to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, let's go into the NA. It was really scary for me to go into NA. I had been to some meetings in rehab,
Mm-hmm.
but all of a sudden I was facing my community, people that I might know, and sure enough, I knew people in there. And it was kind of hard at times to think, here I am, I should have been the example. I should have not gotten addicted to pain prescriptions, though I understand it's all a medical, physiological thing.
Right.
But I still have some friends I run into from NA. I don't go at this point like I did then.
Yeah.
My brother and his wife helped me a lot with that. They're very strong in NA, if I need any advice or help that way. But I had to find the communities at that time in my life that could help me and I belong to.
Yeah. This is true.
So,
I posted that picture yesterday on our Facebook page, and it was you and Linda at Zumba when you were both trying to lose weight, and neither one of you fit in that Zumba class, and you wore your little bell skirts and jingled those things all the way through the gym.
I'd lost about 50 pounds before that picture was taken, and
she'd show us how to do the little Zoom. Could you show us maybe like a little Zumba shake for us? A little ding, ding, ding,
we
ding.
had more fun, and we stood on the very back row, and there was Linda and I, and then here came about 5 other ladies eventually saying, and they'd watch us, and then the next day here they'd be.
Yeah.
They joined us, and we laughed, and we missed steps, and we...
I remember Ashton trying to put that little skirt on and doing the little hip shake thing.
Yeah.
One thing I'll hit on, speaking of cowboys and me, I get questioned all the time. I'm not wearing a cowboy hat. So here's one of the things that comes up a lot, and I got called by my friend Brent, and he was asking me, so what is it about the group that makes them feel like I don't fit in with them? And I do fit in with them. They're great guys. I like the guys a lot. I like spending time with them. My problem is as hard as I've tried to be a real cowboy, I never can. And I never could get over my fear of horses. I'm scared of horses. Surprise! Always have been, always will be. And it's because I've been injured so many times and hurt so many times and have had so many issues happen to me that I'll always remember those crashes I've been in and those wrecks. I don't like to wear cowboy boots. They hurt my feet. I have plantar fasciitis. They hurt like crazy. So when people see me walking around, here I am. This is what I wear every day. T-shirt. If you're watching the camera, shorts, sandals.
That's a big foot.
Size 15 sandals. And a giant ball cap that I got on eBay because nobody sells my size of noggin. And I this is what you see me wearing. And so almost daily when I'm walking through town, people see me and they're like, you're not dressed like a cowboy, you're a country singer. And this is me. We went to a dinner for Brent's birthday, and there was 10, 13 people there. I was the only one wearing shorts and sandals. The only one. Everybody else had cowboy boots, hats, Wranglers. I hate wearing Wranglers. I hate wearing cowboy hats. They pinch my head. They make my head sweat. They are sheerly cosmetic items to me. When I wear them, it is so I look like a cowboy when I'm teaching country dancing and when I'm singing on the stage. You do have any idea how fast I shed those items as soon as I can because they're hot, they're uncomfortable, and I prefer not to wear them. And I never have liked wearing them. Now, does that mean I don't like to work with cows, horses, work on the farm, drive the tractors? No, has nothing to do with that. It's just sheerly I don't like to wear those clothing. And I prefer to wear shorts and sandals and a light t-shirt and a ball cap. So Most of the time, if you run into me, you're going to not see a cowboy. And that's a question that comes up all the time is you're not a cowboy, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that was one of the things that makes me question a lot. I'm not a horseman. I don't like to ride that much. I love to be around horses.
Well, and your size it's
I'm
hard. Cowboys are small.
I'm a big guy.
boys,
I'm a
you
big
know?
guy, and it hurts me. And I just, I'm just, I don't know. That's just one of those things. And so, do I fit in? And they said, did I intentionally not fit into the screen on the camera to show that I don't? So yeah.
He doesn't want me. He's kind of.
We're big.
Excuse me. You're in trouble, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now Frank says that's why he wears Speedos.
Oh, Frank.
Oh my word.
Oh, Frank.
If you wear a Speedo to line dancing, we will let you in for free, Frank. How's that?
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
And we're gonna broadcast it live.
Okay, so let's get back and focus a little bit. So, one of the things we judge ourselves for fitting in is maybe people's clothing, that they have designer clothing or shape or jewelry or cars. There's so many things we judge
When
ourselves.
I was a kid, I got made fun of in school because I wore
know.
Payless shoes.
I know.
I wore Payless shoes, and I many times throughout school I tried to turn into somebody else. I remember when I tried to become a tough guy, and I got like a shredded jacket, and I wore it to school so people would not be mean to me. And they laughed at me and made fun of me for work. Oh, look at you, tough guy, that kind of thing. So then I threw that away. And it was always something. You know, people are just cruel because you don't wear the same kind of clothing or you don't have the same kind of hairdo. My brother gives me the hardest time because guess what? I have a buzzed head.
Oh, well, that's
it's
your
buzzed.
brother. That's your brother. He's going to give you a hard time.
And he says he always makes fun of me and says, if I had hair, I would never buzz it. I would grow it out super long.
So it's a jealousy thing.
And I said, well, it's hot. I don't like to sweat.
Well, and I hate to say, but the times when you were wearing the tough guy vest were also the times that you wanted to have a pet buffalo.
I wanted to be able to ride a buffalo because I thought they could hold my weight.
And it was going to be, we went through about 3 years of pictures of you and buffaloes.
Oh, my word.
And,
I was at my neighbor's
Derek.
yesterday, and they had some guppies in a fish tank.
Well, you live by yourself now.
I had
so
fancy
you go
guppies.
For it.
I was a raiser I raised fancy guppies. And they were swimming around in the tank, and I'm like, oh, you need to get you some females because they give live birth. And she's like, well, how do you know if they're male or female? I said, I know everything about guppies. So she had 2 male guppies swimming around, and they're beautiful, fancy guppies. Good. And I said, the males have the big fan tail. And the females...
They're pretty. The males are always pretty.
The females don't have any color, and they just look like they look like a fish stick, like a sardine.
In nature, the males are always pretty.
The males stand out.
And I think
they don't fit in. They stand out.
That's right. They don't. And that, You know, so I think we are too harsh on ourselves in fitting in. Some things I looked up about how to find, and I don't want to say how to fit in. I want you to find things through your passions that are things you're interested in.
Yeah.
Things you love to do, talents. Find some community classes. Find some art classes if you want to paint.
We've talked about yoga, and I go to yoga sometimes. I am the least coordinated, stretchable person in the class. Sometimes I'm the only guy in the class. I'm the only 6'4" guy that can't stretch in the class, and I don't fit in there, but I go and I enjoy the class. And
who says you don't fit in?
Well, and that's true. The yoga community is usually open to all.
They accept you. They are glad to see. See, this is the point.
I know.
We do it.
It's in our minds. It's all in our minds. Emily was talking about the judgy kids in school, but I actually remember a teacher being mean to me about living in a rich community. My parents had a nice house, and he used to make fun of me in front of the class about how I lived out with the rich kids. And
I didn't know we were rich.
We weren't.
Well, here we go.
And it was one of Emily's teachers. I remember who it was. It was a math teacher. I won't say names. We're not going to say any names. But that kind of stuff sticks with people. And
well, and I'll have to get this in if Emily's saying the mean kids. Do you remember Emily happened to have a guest bag Every girl in our school had to have a big Guess bag.
Oh yeah, Guess, the brand Guess. Oh yeah,
So
this is why I have it's why I have a Louis Vuitton wallet. Every guy's got them.
Did you buy it?
I don't have aLouis Vuitton
guy
wallet.
with a coat down in Mexico
No,
and he took it out.
yeah, I have no idea. Anyway,
So, I learned a long time ago that I don't fit in, and I don't care.
it's
don't
just
care.
society's
I
rules.
know.
Somebody told me the other day that I needed to be a better example to my nephews and let them know that it's not okay to be single and live by yourself.
Oh.
I said, why did we have to go by
Why?
these rules
Why?
of society? Because they said that my example is making them think it's okay to be like me.
They need to be
It's okay.
They need to be okay to be like them.
Right.
To be what they want to be. So, this conversation came up about not fitting in because of Eric, and that you were a little frustrated when you went to the cowboy dinner, and
Wasn't that? It was a lot.
you
It was
didn't
something
look,
else.
I know, but you just felt like you didn't look like the
Yeah,
rest of them, and I
we,
just don't fit in. I don't know why
yeah.
they want me.
Brent and I
But
talked
you
about
all-
that, and
I
it wasn't
know.
that.
And
So.
and you all bring gifts.
Hmm?
We all have talents. Find them. Develop them. And you may find some people, I'm not going to say fit in, but
Right.
you might find a community that you can be an individual in.
I've never quite fit the mold. I mean, I don't know what the right word is now, because fitting in, I've never fit in with the local music scene. I've been a singer. I've been one of the most recognized ones in Southern Utah. Probably sold more albums than any other independent artist in Utah, out of all of them. And I don't know how to play guitar. I don't know how to really write songs. Michaeline helps me a lot. Amy helps me a lot. People have helped me through my whole way, and I never would have made it without all their help. I can't go into the local coffee house and play songs for people like a lot of these other local artists can. And so some of these songwriter associations and groups have never included me as a local artist because they don't believe that I am a real musician because I can't play music, because I use an iPad, this and that. But then they wonder why I'm getting hired to do gigs and I'm going in and singing to an iPad. And I've had people call in complaints and say, he's just a karaoke singer. He shouldn't be in there. You should have a professional musician who's put time in and effort in and all that. They have no idea how much time and effort and money I've put in trying to be the best I can be to my abilities. And that's what set me apart from a lot of people. And so, I did have a whole book about that you can't get from me anymore. It's still available on Amazon and has a lot of tell-all stories in there that I'm glad it's not available so much. But, the only book that you need to get now is my Why Not Today book, because that talks about accepting things and trying to just be yourself. So.
And I would like to just roll back a little bit, and you say you can't go into a coffee shop and entertain people.
Well, I could do magic tricks. Oh, wait, I'm not a magician.
You used to want to be.
I used to want to be a magician.
Oh, we've had a lot.
And a
You've
karate.
had a
I tried to
life,
be a karate person, and I tried to be a
And
skateboarder.
Ride a buffalo and a chicken
I tried to
farmer,
have a
and-
chicken ranch.
Remember when you had the little praying mantis that you wanted?
Tried to raise praying
and
mantises.
He had a praying mantis, and he would pin it to his
Lizards.
shoulder. Remember that?
Yep.
With the string around it,
Yep.
and go around the neighborhood. And
Now
that didn't last
Now
long.
it's dogs.
We had to catch flies to feed it, and it didn't want them. It needed a mate to rip
Yeah,
its head off.
I always had an ant farm, and I tried to raise bees in my
I
window.
But anyway, back to the coffee shop.
Okay.
You can't go into a coffee shop and play your instruments and sing, but you could go into a coffee shop and you could make a conversation with anybody in that coffee shop and find something in common. That is one of your
That's true.
gifts. That's why you have people who like you,
Yeah.
even though you don't fit in. You make them feel included and fit in, and that's a big gift. I found a quote. Are we ready to finish this?
Yep, let's
I
wrap.
found
Let's
this
do it.
quote. It's not a quote. It's just a comment that I really liked. Long before a group assumes external shape and form, so long before a group is formed, it must exist within you. Only as we are in communion with ourselves, then we can be in a community with others. So all this fitting in stuff is all this eternal stinking thinking, we used to
Right.
call
That's
it.
what Marla calls it. Stinking
In
thinking.
rehab. Get rid of some of this stinking thinking. The word individual, you're an individual, I'm an individual, has an inherent duality. It means there's a couple of things. It means the smallest member of a group, but an individual is therefore never isolated. If you're an individual, you are never isolated. You are always connected. Every one of the 7.5 billion humans on the earth has value to offer. So don't fit in. Add your value. Add your passions, your loves. You all have gifts.
Great speech. That was a great speech.
And I like to also say, bloom where you're planted.
That is a good one.
Find your space, find your whatever you feel like you need to be comfortable with, and quit worrying so much about fitting in and being your own unique
So
self.
go out and be a freak today if you
That's okay.
want.
I like
Next
freaks.
week, we're going to talk about kindness. Thanks for being here for the Why Not Today show. We're going to talk about being kind to you, being kind to yourself,
I know I can.
and we love you guys.
Past is behind me.
And be kind to your mother. Don't tell her she's fat.